Good morning, lovely Leos. I hope you're all doing well today. Let's go straight into your channeled messages because you've got quite a few actually. Now, if you do want to, if you're short on time, you want to skip straight to the cards, you can do so. There's a timestamp in the description box below. You can just click it and it'll jump you straight to the cards. However, a lot of people do say they get a lot out of the guided messages, so let's see how we go. I got the first things to come through for you. I got the song and the video Religion by Lana Del Rey. Now, I'm not sure if it was the official video or like a fan-made video, but basically in this video she's somewhere like Italy or maybe Spain, and it's kind of a vintage video. It's kind of, I think, set during the 40s, during the war, and she's a widow and she has to walk through the streets and she's kind of got the veil on, she's surrounded by men, all these men are like paying attention to her and, like, you know, taking the hats off for her and pitying her basically. But at the same time there's this sexual element where they're kind of like looking at her legs and they're interested in her. It's like, oh, she's a widow, almost like Odysseus and Persephone, right? It's like, oh, like, it's kind of like pity but also this sexual desire thing. So she kind of I'm sorry for spoilers if you haven't seen this video, but she goes in and cuts her hair, dyes it red, takes off her veil, and kind of like dresses up like a sex symbol, and then she walks through the streets again, but this time she walks really proudly and people don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it. It's like it's almost like, shame on you, you know, you're a widow, you shouldn't be acting like that. But she's kind of turned it on its head because she's sort of seen this problem where it's like she's been following the social conventions of covering her head and being in mourning, while at the same time being preyed on by these people. And so then she turns it and makes it obvious, you know, it's not hidden anymore. It's like, yeah, okay, you're all attracted to me. So she kind of like plays on it in the same way that the girl does in the film Easy A. If you haven't seen that, go and see it. It's pretty fun film. But basically, it's like, if people are, like, if society have judged you or are treating you a certain way, it's like almost like exploiting that for your own good, and kind of going with it and working with it. It's kind of taking the power back. It's like, don't pity me and treat me like something to be preyed upon. I am going to wield this power that you've given me, and I'm going to make you uncomfortable with it. So this may be something that you're doing, Leo, possibly, or at least some of you. Interesting energy, sort of almost like if life gives you lemons, make lemonade, that kind of thing. But it's like, make sexy lemonade that makes people feel uncomfortable, and which therefore gives you power. Because yeah, it's an interesting twist. I'm really seeing it as like a twist. Okay, next I got a Charlotte Lawrence song, and I'll look up the title to it. Again, things come through in the night, and at the time I just write down whatever comes into my head and not necessarily the best information. But it's a Charlotte Lawrence song. I think it came through for Aries. And she's saying it, feel it in my head, feel it in my heart, feel it in my body. Yeah, so feeling something in your head, your heart and your body. It's like your emotional space, your head space and your action space, maybe in alignment right now. And I heard, again, I was sort of thinking about that Lana Del Rey, where it's like, I think some of you have had like the rug pulled out from under your feet in a way. You've had something that came in as probably a bit of a trauma, something that you've experienced that's kind of been quite difficult for you. But I heard the words still glossing. It's like, I've still got it. It's like, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what challenges I'm facing, I'm still going to get up. I'm still going to look good doing it. It's like, I'm going to put on my best face, and whatever I'm dealing with, whatever this situation is, I'm going to boss it. But still glossing, it's a funny term, and it made me think of Shane Dawson, because he has like a second YouTube channel called Shane Glossing, because he brought out a range of lip glosses. So perhaps some of you watch Shane Dawson. I'm wondering if Shane Dawson's a Leo. I don't know, but yeah, still glossing. Interesting. Baby with puppies. Now I know why I've got puppies on the brain, but I saw like it's like there was puppies and somebody put like a quite a small baby down with the puppies, and it was wearing blue, like a blue baby grow, blue hat. So it was a little boy with some puppies. Maybe that's relevant to you. I got Happy Together by the Turtles, Your Song by Elton John, which always makes me cry. Oh, I wanted to look this up. I might look it up in a moment, but a really old song, and I haven't heard it basically since it came out, and I can't remember who sang it or what the title is. But I'll sing it and get a copyright strike. It's fine. It's I love you always, forever, near and far, closer together. But it's those lines specifically that came through and like kept going around in my head. So I need to look up what that song is, because I swear it must have been out in the 90s and I haven't heard it since then, and it just popped into my head all of a sudden. So if you've been listening to that, hi, I heard you listening, like I clairaudiented you listening to that song. What have we got? Okay, again, it's the lyrics of a song scribbled down in the night here, like you can see, like scroll. So, all you ever should, here I go again. I keep my feelings to myself. Loneliness like a heartbeat drives you mad. What we had and what we lost and what we had. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Women, they will come and they will go. When there's something shared, you feel. That song came through. Then I got the words. It's like me hearing somebody speaking. Misfits and misanthropes. Misfits and misanthropes. That actually gave me Misshapes by Pulp. Then I got Hollow by Tori Kelly, and your randomised song on Spotify this morning was Too Close. Sorry, I can hear. 1 second. Sorry, it's the beep beep truck. It's the bin man, so I just had to run and make sure we put the bins out. Yeah, Too Close by Next came through. So as if I needed any extra raunchiness in my readings, because I'm incorrigible as it is, just with my own brain. But you got You're Making It Hard for Me. So Leo, whether that's you or somebody you're dealing with, I don't know, but we may be in for one of those readings. And I'm sorry, Mum, if that is the case, because my mum often watches my readings. So here we go. Cancer yesterday had this song randomised for them, so I'm going to randomise one song for you on camera because I got too close, and we're going to have another one here. So let's see, just so you can see how I do this. Song for Leo. Blur, Stereotypes. Interesting. The suburbs, they are dreaming, there a twinkle in her eye. She's been feeling frisky since the day she said goodbye. So what are we in for here, Leo? Stereotypes. There is definitely a sexual undertone to your reading coming through already, with those kind of like all those men on that Religion song by Lana Del Rey. And it's kind of like it was kind of gross. It's kind of like pointing out the problems with tradition and society of where, I mean, the song's called Religion, where it was these like, it was basically like a literal army of men. There was all these soldiers, and they're kind of being respectful because they're taking the hat off to a widow, but at the same time they're kind of eyeing her up. It was really kind of like pointing out the flaws with tradition. It's a bit sick, actually. It makes me feel a bit sickly. Right, so I'm going to tune into your energies, Leo. Make sure I'm fully channeling, and then I'm going to ask for the best possible reading to come through that's going to do the most good, and we're going to start to pull cards. So I'll be back with you in a second. As I'm tuning in, that Charlotte Lawrence song is in my head. I effing hate you, but I love you just the same. You tear my heart out in just the perfect way. So take that as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. Again, sorry for my hair. It's the weather's turned and it's So it's that fine rain, it just makes my hair kind of go all fuzzy and fluffed up. So sorry for the bird's nest that you're going to get on camera. And I'm sorry that it's a little bit dark as well today. I am doing this a bit earlier than usual. It's quite cloudy as well, so the lighting isn't the best. But here we go. Best possible message, please, for Leo. I don't know why I'm being drawn to this, but the light of the world is on the bottom there. Number 10, that's about changes. Okay, so let's go. Can I get one card, please, for Leo? Can I get one card, please, for Leo? For the people coming to this reading, whether they're Leo or cross watchers, we want to know more about Leo. This card's been coming through a lot recently. Clearing the way. And Archangel Michael. Yeah, okay. It's like angels are clearing blockages out of your way. Clearing blockages out of your path. I remember something else I wanted to talk about as well, because it did come through in your last reading. Oh, hello. We've got a visitor. Come here. Oh, no, you're going up on the window ledge, are you? Go on then. Okay, good. She's not coming to bother us. So, I saw on Twitter this morning that Lana Del Rey has apparently been doing witchcraft against Donald Trump. So, Nando, you retweeted that into my timeline. Hi, if you're watching this. And I was talking about this actually in your last reading, about more to do with like what you're wishing for, what you're praying for, what you're asking the universe for. And I was saying that you should always act with integrity, and you should always act in the light, basically, because whatever you ask for will come back at you. If you generate bad karma for yourself by wishing bad things on other people, then that will come back at you in some form or another. So it's always better to, if there's a person that you don't like, perhaps they have very, very a narrow mind, bad values, you think that they harm people, instead of wishing for harm on them, you should wish, pray, do your magic spells, whatever it is you're doing, but in a way where it's like, help this person to be a better person, help this person to do things that are helpful, help this person to help the community who are affected by this person. So putting a positive spin on whatever it is that you want to manifest, always manifest in a positive energy, because if you're manifesting in a negative energy, it will come back to you. So if you've been acting with integrity, and you probably have, right? Because Archangel Michael's here. He's a protective angel. He's like a guide, protective. You can see here he's literally protecting these two children. If children come through in a reading, I always do ask specifically the energy of my Archangel Michael, whether that's an angel or an energy or an aspect of the universe, whatever that energy is, it's the specific energy I ask to come in and protect children if they're involved in a situation. So clearing the way, Archangel Michael, there's these children here. So you may... they're trying to get home as well in this image. Like this man and this woman, the carriage has stopped. There may be some kind of blockage in your plan. Maybe you've got some direction you were taking, you've hit some kind of block. But it's like these people are working together to clear the blockage, to be able to get home, whatever that kind of means for you. And it's a direct path as well. So it's not that you can't get home, it's just that you can't get, or wherever it is, to your destination, it's not that you can't get there, it's just that you can't get there in the way that you thought you could as well, because these people could walk around this and continue to walk through the woods, but then, how are they going to get the carriage there? So there are routes available to you. You might be kind of focused on one route. I'm kind of getting from that today. Archangel Michael here is very much a guide. He is an energy that gets people on the right path in life, that does clear blockages, or actually he can create blockages if the universe needs you to kind of sit in place a little bit longer, if there's more work for you to do before you move on to something. It's like there's no good, say there's something you want to do and you're really excited for it, but you're not quite emotionally ready. If that blockage wasn't there and you went for it, it might fail because you might get there and have an attack of the nerves, and then you'd miss that opportunity. So it's almost like putting something in place so that you can perhaps work through your emotions regarding this thing a little bit more before it happens, because then you will be able to fully enjoy it. Does that make any sense to you? We're going to read the cards here. I think 4 of Keys, clearing the way. So I'll pick it up so you can see it clearly. Maybe you need to see something clearly. A man and a woman have taken a carriage down a trail that cuts through a forest and continues to their beautiful home in the distance. A large downed tree lies before them, blocking their path. However, the young man carries an axe and is ready to clear the way. This card is a strong signal that now is the time to take significant action to remove an obstruction in your way. So it's asking you to remove this obstruction in this description. But I'm seeing that Archangel Michael card there as somebody who's helping you. Or the universe helping you. It may be in your personal life, in a relationship, at work, or with a creative project. You must be clear-headed, so be sure to temper your action with calm and forethought. If you are too urgent and excitable, you may waste your energy or even cause damage. That's kind of what I was saying. It's like you kind of need to be able to temper your excitement, learn this patience, so you don't go in like a bull in a china shop, basically. On the other hand, if you're overly gentle and cautious, you won't clear the way completely. Be determined and strong as you work to remove the obstacle that blocks your steps. With time and your attention, the way to your dreams will open. Okay. So I can show you that. You can pause it and have a reread. See if anything in particular jumps out of you. Anything that resonates for you there. Maybe of particular importance for you there as well. Now it came up in the upright, so you don't need to read the reversed. You can leave that, but if it resonates, then take it. The Akashic Force there as well. It's kind of like a little mantra you can say to help you if you are in that situation. So number 9, Archangel Michael. The Archangel Michael is a channel of divine power. He is seen here sharing his energy with 2 small children, bringing them great strength and support. Okay, I'm hearing that there may be actually 2 adults who are almost being treated like children in a situation. Perhaps they're particularly naive in a situation. That's a message for someone, and may not be everybody's message, but it just came through. He is about to pick up the boy, and he can help you lift your energy too. When you receive this card, know that your energy reflects Michael's amazing strength. This can be a cycle of increasing power for you. One way you feel courage growing, and you know what action to take next. So there's 2 cards now about being confident and taking some sort of action. Trust your convictions, your power, and your resourcefulness. Again, this man is resourceful. He's picked up an axe in order to clear the branch. So it's using the correct tools for the job, is what I'm getting there. Michael upright heralds a time of great courage, force, initiative, and action, so don't delay. He's right there for you. So tap into the dynamo within you and take the action that compels you. By the power of Michael compels you. With Michael and your own power, you can move mountains and lift yourself to new heights. So you can move mountains with the support of this energy here. So there is some kind of blockage, and you're being empowered to be able to clear that blockage yourself. So interesting message again there. It is particularly standing out to me, the children on this card. I'm not quite sure why yet, but I'm sure they will let us know when it's ready. Again, I saw a little baby boy, and it said he's about to pick up the baby boy. So, I don't know, maybe that means something to you. The scribe there, perhaps there's something to do with writing going on for you at the moment. Perhaps you're doing a lot of reading, seeking information through books. And as well, scribes, not necessarily books and scrolls, right? It can be things written on the internet, blog posts or news articles. So anything that you read may be important at this time for you. You may be seeking knowledge from something. And it could be like Googling, right? I've got this problem. I've got a blocked pipe, right? Clearing the way. I've got a blocked pipe. Googling how to deal with that. So yeah, it could be something as like mundane as that, but it could be something huge as well. Let's get another card for Leo, please. What's going on, please, for Leo? Thank you. Not giving me too many. Eros, that came through for somebody else. I can't think who it was. It might have been Cancer yesterday. So that is literally like love. Okay, the energy of love. The vision, shared vision, the shapeshifter, and the king. Interesting set of cards. So I like the shared vision card because, again, I am picking up on 2 people a lot here with some of your songs there as well. There is some kind of connection. For some of you, it will be a kind of sexual connection. I'm picking up a lot of like sexual desire. For others of you, it could be a more platonic connection, like two people working together who have a shared vision, or yeah, shared knowledge between two people, some kind of commitment. I'm getting the word commitment, a commitment to do something, commitment to a project, commitment to some kind of contract. But I'm seeing it as a commitment to fulfilling some kind of shared vision. One second. Okay, so sorry about the interruption. So the shapeshifter, I see this as going with the flow in a way that you adapt to different situations. It may be that you have to put on a certain, not a mask, but I was using this metaphor, I think yesterday, of a jewel, right? A cut jewel with facets. That jewel, all the facets are a part of that jewel, but you can show a different side of it at different times. So it may be that in front of family you show one side of this cut jewel, where in front of work colleagues you show a different side. In front of a lover you may show a side that you don't show anyone else. So it's this thing about changing the face, changing the way that you present in different situations, depending on your audience, almost, is what I'm getting from that card today. My right hand has gone very, very cold all of a sudden. Why is that? Because this king card is here. So what is this? Why am I doing this? You may be asking for something for someone. If you're doing a project, perhaps you're writing a book, right? My hand's very, very cold. So perhaps you have a vision, a shared vision with somebody else, and you are perhaps either asking for help with this vision. It's like asking for something, like hand out. You may be asking perhaps a parent for some kind of funding. You may be going to they're showing me the show The Apprentice, where they go to like different supermarkets and say, you know, here's my offer, like, do you want how many of this product do you want to buy? But yeah, so there may be a sense of like asking for something here as well. For some of you. So there is a different meaning to this king card. The main thing that's coming through is no matter which person you are, whether you're this person who's like changing shit, the king card can be about leaders, and the kind of what makes a good leader or a bad leader. And it may be that people, you may be in a position of leadership. I mean, you are Leo. Look at the sun behind this card. So this probably does symbolize you. They're giving me Lion King and Simba. Perhaps you feel a bit like Simba for some reason. You may find that because you are in a leadership position or some kind of position where you have a lot of eyes on you, a lot of people looking at you, watching you, you may feel like you have to present a certain kind of version of yourself to the world, where you're seen as being very magnanimous, generous with your time perhaps. You want to communicate this vision you have to the world. You want to guide people, like guiding a project of some kind, possibly. If this isn't you, it may be someone that you're connecting with, right, who you're perhaps working for. But the energy that's coming through is this kind of like this side of yourself that you present to the world because you want to get things done. Okay, with that clearing the way card, it's like, this is how I'm going to get things done, by presenting this bold, fearless, dynamic side of myself to the world. But behind the scenes, behind the scenes, you may present a different side of yourself to the world. You may find that you really need to kind of blow off some steam. You may find that, you know, perhaps your grumpy side comes out around friends and family because you can, right? You have to show all sides of yourself at some point. So yeah, it's like people behind the scenes may see you stressing. They may see the anxiety. They may see the emotional breakdowns. They may support you. I mean, there's definitely a relationship here, and it could be one person, it could be a group of people. I know, baby. Yeah. perhaps you're making some kind of bid for leadership, and it's causing you quite a lot of anxiety. And again, you're having to put on this like this certain like face to the world. Yeah, so yeah, but I do see you having support with people who share your vision, who have the same goals. We want the same thing, we dream the same dream, right? Yeah. It's interesting as well because a couple of the signs last week were getting this kind of all for one, one for all message coming through, where it was like maybe you're part of a team and you all work really well together, and it's like, well, if one person succeeds, we all succeed. So it's like maybe one person in this team is going for some kind of promotion, where they it may not be a promotion, take it as it resonates and you can adapt it, but I'm using this as kind of like an example of what is coming through. So it's like one person in this team is going for something or doing something or putting on a public face, because they've got this vision of like something, and it's like if they get it, if they get the funding, if they get the position, if they get the promotion, they can then almost like take their team with them. It's not just about them, it's about everybody. Am I just reading politics today? I was talking about Lana Del Rey and Donald Trump, wasn't I? Right, okay, let's get into the meaning of these cards. The dream, the imagined, the revealed. It is said that we are each born with a unique vision, a destiny towards which we are aimed. Sorry, I got a bit tangled over my words there. Perhaps somebody has to do public speaking and they're nervous, so they kind of trip up over the words a little bit. I did it again then. So if that's you, take a few deep breaths, slow down as I'm about to do, and just speak slowly, because you don't have to speak in a big rush. Slow down, and that'll help you not to trip over your words, and it'll help people understand what you're trying to say. So it is also said that we forget this vision the moment we are born. Thus we are sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. Such is the elusive nature of the vision. It slips away, yet it guides. It appears in strange dreams and surreal images, seemingly unattainable and preposterous. When we are connected to the vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors into wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the vision, life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking meaning. Bring back the mystery and bring back the dreams. When light, potent imagination, synchronicity and trust. When dark, disconnected from art and dreams, listless, aimless. Go deeper. Twin Peaks by David Lynch, The Dream by Frida Kahlo. Look at the art you loved when you were young. Listen to old records and poems. These are all ways to activate the vision. And it's interesting that a really old song came through, that I love you always forever. You can gauge how connected you are to your vision by how tired you are. Interesting, since the vision feeds us energy, it affects our life force and vitality. Now, the reason why I say interesting is because I just felt wiped out last night. At about 7 o'clock, I was like, I'm just going to get in bed and watch YouTube. And I fell asleep quite early. And then I had a really bad night sleep because I slept too early. And then, yeah. But, yeah, that feeling of kind of like being a little bit exhausted sort of resonated with me a bit there. I am Leo rising, so I got the exhaustion out of this reading. Don't worry, guys, I'll be exhausted for all of you. I'll stay in bed. You guys do all the work. I'll stay in bed. Okay, I'll replenish the energy for the collective. It's fine. Joking. The shapeshifter, the trickster, the elusive, the formless. The shapeshifter has a love of theatre, games, and trickery. Its energy appears as one thing, only to reveal a more complex story below the surface. The shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is the side of ourselves that is slippery and non-committal and experimental, and longs to dismiss the rules. We need its energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. When the shapeshifter card appears, it's important to imagine that you are looking at life through a kaleidoscope rather than a single focused lens. At any moment, the scene may shift, revealing a more enchanting vision than you imagined. Be wary, though, as the allure of the kaleidoscope can leave you exhausted and yearning, another card about being exhausted, and yearning for the solid ground. Dancing long-term with the shapeshifter requires a central pillar of integrity that links us back to our centre. When light, vibrant, adaptive, humorous. When dark, charlatan, people-pleasing and trickery. Go deeper, Cindy Sherman. The shapeshifter is related to the mask. Notice if these cards come together in one reading. If so, you are in the realm of heavy theatre, illusion, and possible deception. Well, it's a good thing the mask isn't here. As I said, I wasn't seeing it as a mask, like someone masking themselves. I saw it more as revealing different aspects of yourself at a time. And it's interesting that I said about the jewel, like the cut gem. I'm also seeing like the shards of the facets of the diamond as being like the shards of colours in the kaleidoscope. There's something there to do with like refracting light, changes in light. The ultimate shapeshifter works undercover in service of the greater good. The diminished shapeshifter becomes a people pleaser. Right, okay, so that's interesting. You have, right, we've got this card about the vision and adaptability, right? The vision, you have the vision, but it's like this little portal thing is a kaleidoscope. At any time the scene might shift and you might have to reevaluate and adapt. So that is that's a skill, being able to do that, being able to go with the flow, to adapt, to shift, to move the goalposts, or not even the goalposts, more like I can't use that reference. Like, how can I put this? Like if you were playing a computer game, right, and say it was a racing game, and there's certain like Need for Speed, so you're doing a race and you have to go through certain markers along that race, yeah, and you can't go past them, you can't bypass it, because then it doesn't count and you have to go back and go through the markers. So it's like you're still going to go to that same end goal, but you may have to shift the markers around to take an alternate route, is kind of what I'm saying. Because maybe as you're driving that car, there's a branch in the road, so you have to, I'm being shown a sat nav, so it's like you have to take a different route. So it's this reevaluation energy, because you have this vision, you have this goal, you have these ideas of what you want to do, but there's things that can shift within that, so you have to reevaluate. And there's also this people pleasing. So I am picking up that you, Leo, are probably this king energy, this lion, this leader. Be wary that as things shift, you don't start to jump through hoops and become a bit of a people pleaser. You need to be the person moving the goalposts, moving the pointers. Yeah, it's okay to go with the flow, but don't let that push you away from your goal. Keep your goal in sight. What else did I pick up on from that? Integrity as well. Integrity is going to be important. Did I show you that? Integrity isn't going to be important for the king. I can't remember if I showed you the vision as well, so I'll just hold that there again so you can pause and have a look at that if you want to. So let's go to the king. So integrity is really important, a keyword as we go into this description. The ruler, the commander, the emperor. If our lives are imagined as a kingdom containing the entire spectrum of human experience, the king presides over all of it. Through the lens of the king, we assess the state of our land. The lens stood out for me there, because again I was talking about prisms, the kaleidoscope, so the vision, this lens. The king, through the lens of the king, we assess the state of our land, make decisions and rule accordingly. There we go. So there's an assessment here, assessing the situation and ruling accordingly. There's an adaptability here. They're giving me What Doesn't Bend Break, Buildings and Bridges by Annie DeFranco, so I'm just going to write that down before I forget. There we go. So that song is about buildings and bridges are made to stand in the wind. What doesn't bend breaks. So yeah, it's good to be flexible, and being flexible makes a good leader, which is why there's a lot of Libras in politics. Where are we? Therefore, though, the king must be thoroughly and regularly vetted so as to avoid corruption. Recognise the dual nature of the king. He is either seated in benevolence and strength, guiding you towards peace, or he is opposing the weak out of the need to control. Thinking about American politics right now, guys. There is not much middle ground. Some think of the king as the ultimate expression of the ego, yet the great kings of mythology and history serve from an egoless place. They take their throne with grace and humility, knowing the divine uses them as a channel to heal the deep and long-standing discrepancies in the kingdom. When light, benevolence, divine leadership, service and nobility. When dark, oppression, misuse of power and corruption. Go deeper, the Dalai Lama, Indra, Richard III, Macbeth. It's interesting, I was thinking about Shakespeare plays myself. The king isn't necessary. He is a bridge between the eternal and the day-to-day. It is also said that it is necessary for the king to die. This is the death of ego. I mean, eventually, right, he is human. Once the king's relationship to divinity is broken or challenged, he often acts from a place of fear, scrambling to uphold his image and power. Now, it's interesting that it said Richard III, because I always think of Richard II as being a brilliant play about kingship and about, because it actually discusses the duty of care that a king should have to its community. It's a reciprocal position. It's not just about sitting on your throne and shouting orders at people and making them give you stuff, collecting taxes. The idealism of a king, at least through that period, was that this person is appointed by God, if you're going with the religion of this period. So it's divine, it's destiny for this person to sit on the throne as a channel through God. They're in service to God and they're in service to the kingdom. This is kind of, again, the idealized traditional version of a king. So this isn't my personal perspective, it's the historical idealization of kingdom. So they're basically, as I'm doing now, acting as a channel from the messages that are coming from above, in service of you guys watching the video. I'm not saying I'm a king, but it's that same concept. This person on this seat of power who is receiving directions and instructions from God, working as a tool for God or the universe, whatever you want to say that higher power is. And it's because they have a duty of care to protect the people beneath them, their community around them, to act as a leader, bringing people into a place of peace and happiness. That's their job, that's their role. Where actually once they get that seat of power, power corrupts completely. There's that quote where, you have people who abuse that position, they abuse that power, they don't uphold their responsibilities. So whatever this means to you, why this is coming out for you, I don't know, but it's here for you to kind of have a think about and digest. And again, it says king, but it means any kind of leadership position. So literally American politics is going through a thing right now, so it could be the president, right? Presidential candidates, any kind of leader. It could be a boss, somebody getting a promotion. Who's right for this promotion? It's the person who's going to look after, who cares, who genuinely cares, and who wants to help other people move up the ladder. Richard II, a brilliant play to watch if you are ruminating on the idea of kingship. Okay, the vision, the shapeshift of the king. I think we've sort of touched on everything there. That this blockage clearing your way. Perhaps if you are working as part of a team and you're able to clear a route towards taking your team towards this vision, then do so, because you're being guided to do this. And also it may mean that you are recognised for it. Possibly. Okay, we're 40 minutes in already, so maybe we need to speed up a little bit. I'm going to get another card for what's going on for you. I don't know what's going on here. Things are a bit of a mess. Perhaps things are a bit of a mess for you. Can I get one card? No, you're going to give me a few. Okay. Daughter romance on the bottom there. I'm definitely picking up on some of you. You've got Eros and daughter romance next to each other, so, and that too close song. Some of you, this is definitely some sort of romance. Perhaps you have a shared vision with somebody. Perhaps you are connecting with somebody. Oh my goodness, that is not one card, guys. All tied. I'm not reading all of these. All tied up. Patience. Yeah, so clearing the way. Similar thing, right? Clearing the way, all tied up. There's been a tie up. There's been some kind of blockage. It's like the garden and the gate. The gate is shut, and you're gonna have some certain amount of patience to be able to move towards this. Look, the woman holding a heart is underneath the king, and the king has the handout. So handout, somebody might want a handout. There may be a sense between two people where it's like, no, I'm going to come to that in a minute because I'm getting quite a lot from that. So if we start at this end, the all tied up is under clearing the way. There is some kind of blockage here. There's some kind of, perhaps some kind of tie up that's like, perhaps legislative, perhaps, you know, two people are meant to work together, but somebody can't travel right now. There's, sorry about the hiccup there. I hit the 40-minute mark and there's a hiccup as it sort of changes recording. Yeah, so perhaps there's some kind of contracts that need tying up, or perhaps somebody is tied to a contract, or perhaps there's somebody who's tied to a previous commitment, they're wrapping something up, but it's like the angels are here to clear the way. Yeah. And that's a 5 as well. There is going to be some sort of change. There's a lot of patience involved. There's patience that's necessary. You can see here you've got 3 angel cards now. This patience card is underneath the Archangel Michael card, which is telling me that the way is being cleared. Trust in divine timing. Have patience. Understand that there are higher power energies at play here. If there is some kind of hold up, some tie up, some blockage, it can actually be for your own benefit, because perhaps if you are working as part of a team, or there's some kind of like it's like a chessboard, right? All the chess pieces have to be in the right places before you can play. So it's almost like the universe is at play here, behind the scenes, doing things that you might not be able to see, to make sure that when this happens, it's happening at the right time. So be patient, yeah, and trust this kind of divine power. The Garden and Gate card is a card about actually kind of being kind of all right where you are. It's like, well, I've got bread on my table, it's all right here. I'm quite comfortable, I'm safe, I'm secure. And it's interesting as well that this idea of a gate, like passing through some sort of portal, right? Through the gate, through the threshold. And then there's this vision card as well, which is like a portal. It's knowing that you have to move through to a different place, whether that's you know, physically or emotionally, to moving to a different place emotionally, or moving to a different place mentally, whatever that is, a different workplace. Yeah, somebody may be literally moving, I don't know, but whatever that is for you, there's this sense of sort of being quite comfortable where you are. You feel safe in the garden. You can go through that gate. You can, well, you can't at the moment because I'm seeing that this tie up and blockage, right? It's like you don't know where the key is yet for this gate, but you know that you eventually you are going to go out into the world. You're going to go out and explore. You're going to go to new places, whether that's mentally, emotionally, or physically, because you have this shared vision with somebody else. But yeah, it's not time yet. Angel of Balance is here again. It's like this kind of balancing act of energies. It's almost like the patience energy as well, or temperance energy if you want to talk about the tarot cards, of where it's like but I'm seeing it quite as like emotional balance as well. It's under the Shapeshifter card, so there's a need to balance out this. I'm really seeing it as like changing, like the kaleidoscope, or like a chessboard or a jigsaw puzzle, where there's a lot of pieces that are moving here. There's a need to balance out these ever shifting energies. So the angels, the universe, however you want to see that, is kind of like shifting all these things for you right now. It's balance. It's like this isn't even your thing. It's like this balancing act that the universe is doing. But you may actually need to heal from something, heal from a situation. There may be a reluctance at the moment to leave a situation because it's felt like home. It's felt comfortable. You feel quite safe there. You know what to expect from the situation, where actually stepping out of that gate, you're stepping into this place where it's unexpected. It's like the scene is always changing. They're showing me a stage, and how they change the scenes on a stage. Yeah, the scene's changing. You don't quite know, like here you know what the rules are, you know what to expect. Here you don't really know what you're going to be dealing with. So there is a need as well for like emotional balance, stability, the ability to go with the flow, to trust the changes, where if there's resistance to this, which may be this stuff over here, you're just not ready yet, which is why this angel of balance is here, this patience. The king and the woman holding a heart. Now, this might be two people offering their heart to each other, offering service. I'm seeing someone offering service. They're showing it me in a very, very old-fashioned kind of Arthurian way, like old-fashioned like knights saying, how may I be of service to you? I serve you with love and loyalty and compassion. What song was I getting through? When I got up this morning, when I was kind of making my coffee, I had Merritt Bergman, I Will Always Be Your Soldier. So I'm just going to write that down. So it's, I will always be your soldier. I'll be marching by your side. I'll be there for you. So yeah, it's just like, so there's someone here, there's a character who is some kind of leader in some way. And then this other energy that is kind of service to that leader. It's like the shared vision, right? It's like, we have they're giving me, we want the same dream again. It's like, I'm going to support you in your bid for leadership. And march by your side when you get it. We've got the shared vision. It's really interesting. Dream, same dream. I'll be there for you. Okay. I was getting something else from this as well. I can't think what it was now. It always strikes me, the person on this card, they have quite a masculine jawline. Sometimes I think that this is like a drag queen or somebody who is transitioning from masculine to feminine. You can see they've got that butterfly on the head there as well, which represents a change. The number 44 here as well may be relevant for you. Perhaps you're seeing the number 44 a lot. You're seeing number patterns, number synchronicities. So do be aware of that. It could also be, again, don't worry too much about the gender on the cards. You know, this is shown as a king card, which is traditionally a masculine energy, but it could be somebody who identifies as female or any however you identify, you know, with your gender, you could still be in that king energy. It's just the name of the card. So it's more important the energy of this card, this leadership position, rather than the gender on the imagery or the card. Does that make any sense? You can adapt it as necessary. What this is kind of telling me though is that traditionally kingship, being a leader, is seen as being this masculine yang energy. Being the king is this masculine yang energy of kind of, it can sometimes, sort of, if it's in shadow energy, be quite domineering. So with it being with this woman holding a heart card, it's showing me this need for leadership, but from a very traditionally feminine place, this yin energy of being, I'm a leader, but I am more like queen energy, I suppose, but no, that doesn't work. It doesn't work because I'm just trying to tell you all my thoughts. They're coming through thick and fast, so it's quite hard to kind of keep up. Traditionally, I'm being shown Hatshepsut and Queen Elizabeth I, how they were women, and Margaret Thatcher as well. These are women who were leaders, but they took on a very masculine persona in their leadership role. Hatshepsut, who was an Egyptian queen, she literally wore a beard. Queen Elizabeth I was seen as being very masculine, very like her father, right, Henry VIII. And Margaret Thatcher was very, very severe, very strict. This is saying this is more of a feminine leadership position. I think this came through in your last reading as well, where it's like more like Earth Mother energy. It's very, very nurturing, like Venus energy as well. If you look at the Venus in the Augustan period, nurturing energy of yeah, it's like you have a brood. It's showing me of like being a leader, but you have a brood of people to look after, and you're helping them to grow underneath you. So it's like this leadership position, but this nurturing, traditionally feminine energy that somebody is doing it with. Yeah, leading with love, leading from the heart. That's what that is. Okay, just so I know how much time I've got left, I'm going to stop my recording and restart it. Back with you in just a second. There we go. I've got 28 minutes left, but I don't think we're going to be here for 28 minutes. All being well, I think the message coming through is quite strong there. But we're just going to find out what's going on in the emotional space with this deck. We're going to look at also the headspace and the action space and pull an advice card, a final advice card. So can I get a card, please, for the emotional space regarding this reading, please? Thank you. The Page of Pentacles. Yeah, this is the Apprentice. So some of you going on the Apprentice. What have we got underneath? Oh, the Empress as well. Expansion energy. Beautiful. Yeah. So I'm just going to talk about the Empress first because this is the major arcana. The message that I'm getting from the Empress today is this birthing of a new way of ruling, birthing of a new form of leadership, birthing of a new enterprise. They're giving me the word enterprise, Starship Enterprise, perhaps. I don't know. A new way of instead of perhaps a workplace that is traditionally masculine, where it's like there's a job position and everybody fights to get for it, everybody's out for themselves. This is very I always think of this as being like American politics as well, of I don't know why American politics is coming through so strongly in this reading, of politics of Rome as well, to a certain extent, where it's kind of like survival of the fittest almost. You have to fight off the competition, you have to be the best. Very much like they're showing me like societal, like political societal systems, capitalism. I have to be the best, I have to be the go-getter, I have to be the person who rules. Very, very kind of traditionally masculine, aggressive forms of taking control, of getting leadership positions. You can tell by the way I'm speaking that I'm kind of like screwing up my face as I say this, where actually this kind of benevolent king energy is much more nurturing, more feminine. Traditionally, again, I'm using feminine and masculine, please don't take that offensively. It's I have to be able to explain what I'm saying. I have to have certain terms to be able to get the point across, but just understand that I don't feel like how I'm saying feminine and masculine, I believe that anyone can work in any energy. I believe in the flexibility of this and the gender fluidity. Okay, so please don't take that offensively, that the way I'm talking. It's more the energy, and I have to have some sort of way of communicating this, and I'm talking historically as well, just so please understand that. So with this Empress, a very, very nurturing energy again. She's a leader, she's a nurturing leader, and there's a lot of creative potential here of expansion. So rather than being kind of like everyone's out for themselves, it's more of like a family of people who are rising together. It's actually really beautiful energy, and I've just gone completely like cold and goosebumpy, completely up my body. It was like something walked through me. Yeah, really actually very, very beautiful energy. A lot of potential. It's potential energy. It's an energy of growth, of expansion, because if you rise, you can, and you take your group with you, or if you are supported by your group in your rise to power, whatever that is, then it's kind of it's growth. You can and they're kind of showing me like the Empire of Rome as well, where it's like it kind of absorbs people and grows. So it's like absorb and grow. And there was a lot of opportunities as well for people in the Roman Empire. I don't want to go on that too much. Obviously there was a lot of issues with it as well, but you can go and see a lot of tombstones where I mean, there's a slavery element, but it's a very different form of slavery to what we know from like the Americas, and kind of like colonialism. It was a lot more, it wasn't based on race, it was based on growth of the empire. So it was, yes, they would conquer people, yes, they would take slaves, yes, there were people who would abuse those slaves. Cato, I'm looking at you. But there was also people who believed in, I mean, it's horrible, right? Slavery is horrible, I'm not justifying it, but I'm talking about like what happens once somebody becomes a slave in the Roman Empire. So historical context here. Again, I'm not suggesting this is good for anybody, I'm not suggesting this is something we should do now, but you would find examples of people who I mean, there's literal examples. There's so much archaeological evidence for this, where people would be taken by a household, become part of that household, be trained up like an apprentice. This is an apprentice card, and actually become quite powerful. There were very, very powerful people who would have been taken into the empire as slaves, where it's kind of like this patronship energy of and again, it's not the entirety of the Roman Empire, it's a specific period of history that I'm talking about. But you can go and you can see all these, so many examples of tombstones where it's like, I was a slave of this person, or it's like the name of the person was freedman, and then they have their own business, they have their own empire then. So again, let's take the slavery element out of that and look at this as more of like a people rising up together, people entering some sort of workplace as an apprentice, rising through the ranks, being given the support from those who are higher, this patronship, and rising up to positions where they are in positions of power themselves. And then the right thing to do in this story to keep this empire growing with the empress there is to then take on your own apprentices and bring those people up behind you. It's like a cycle, right? A cycle of drawing people in and raising the energy. And if you're doing this as a positive energy, as a positive force in the world, then it's a really, really good thing actually, because you're bringing people up from the bottom to the top. It's, yeah, really, really cool. So again, take out that slavery element, because I think we can all agree that slavery is bad, right? And see it more as this system, and a very, very benevolent system of it's a two-way street between the leaders and the apprentices. Yeah, Page of Pentacles, apprenticeship energy, and it's doing it in your heart space. Yeah. It's something you really care about. So you might be identifying as this kind of leadership person here. And it's like you really, really care about the people. I don't want to say beneath you, because I think you would actually balk at that word. The people who are lower in the ranks than you. You really, really care about these people. You want to see them succeed. You want to pull them up behind you. You want to get them into positions where they can do the same for others. So it's a real give and take cycle of energy. It's like the higher I get, the more I can do for you. Yeah, it's like the more of a position of power I get, the more benevolent I can be to others. It's really actually quite beautiful, and it's coming with this vision energy, especially compared to certain political systems that exist in the world today, which are quite frankly abusive of power, and there's no way to enter the system, and to yeah, it's like people are out for themselves, and it's not good. So let's see. But this benevolent kingship energy, which is, again, it's an ideal. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It is. When it's working in its full power, because obviously you get people who get to that king stage and then the power corrupts. But you know, no system's perfect. And again, I'm talking about an idealized system, which does not include slavery. Strength and Three of Wands in the thoughts. So in the thoughts, again, strength, confidence, leadership, Leo energy. Again, two people walking side by side here. I'm hearing that Marit Bergman song again. I will always be your soldier. I'll be marching by your side. So there could be a relationship here where two people give strength to one another. It's kind of a force to be reckoned with, is the way I'm hearing it. The Three of Wands here is about somebody who's made a decision and they're kind of watching and waiting. They may have made an investment and they're waiting for the ships to come in. I'm also being shown Shakespeare play, The Merchant of Venice. Is it Antonio, the main character in that? He's invested a lot of money, but he's put all his investment into one ship, and that ship actually sinks, and he loses all his money. It's full investment, which is what gets him into the situation in the first place. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, because you've got this kaleidoscope energy up here. The things are always changing, always shifting. You have to be ready. you have to be able to weather the storm. So there's an angel of balance out your assets. Don't put all your assets in one place. Make investments, but don't invest all your time and energy into one place, because there is always a chance that something may fail, and you need to be able to survive. You need to be able to weather the storm. So yeah, watching and waiting for things to pay off here. I think watching and waiting to be able to take action, because you have made a decision. The Three of Wands is someone who's made a decision. Mentally, you've made a decision. You've made a choice to move, right? You're just waiting for that gate to open, for the path to clear, for the loose ends to tie up, and then you can move. Okay. The moon here as well, though, there's things that you can't see yet, and I'm seeing the moon card today as being like this kaleidoscope energy of things shifting. The things are constantly shifting around us. We have to things don't stay the same forever. Nothing stays the same forever, so you have to be flexible. You have to be able to, you know, bend in the wind so that you don't break. So yeah, the moon is showing today as this kaleidoscope energy of things that events that you don't know are going to happen, things that are going to be thrown your way that you're going to have to deal with. They're showing me like a ping pong, like things thrown at you and you ping pong them away. Okay. Can I get a card, please, for the action space? What's going on in the action space right now? You've made a decision in your thoughts here, but this is a card about needing to make some sort of decision or needing to make a choice. So you've made it in your thoughts, but you need to action it. Can I get another card, please, on the Two of Swords? A couple here. Yeah, the Queen of Swords is somebody who takes action. They will cut things out if they need to. It's all swords in your action space. So at the moment you are doing this process of thinking. Swords are all about thinking and communication. Also about taking quite swift action. So in your headspace, you've made this decision, and then this mental energy, this strength, this partnership, waiting for something, is in your action space. So at the moment, the Two of Swords is crossed. Your heart space is crossed at the moment by this mental energy, by this decision which you have yet to action. So it's like the way I'm seeing it is like the heart is being somewhat protected. I was going to say guarded, but they corrected me to protected, because you have this woman holding a heart here and this king, right? So I'm seeing this as this energy. At the moment, the swords are crossed because something is being protective, something is still in the garden, something is still tied up. But this is something you're trusting. You intuitively know this. She's blindfolded, protecting a heart space, guarding a heart space. Crossed swords. Yeah, I'm seeing crossed swords. Again, you have this something that's wrapping up here, something that's tying up. The Queen of Swords, very, very clear, clear communication, very focused thinking, logical, analytical, clear-minded. So I'm seeing this is like your thoughts manifesting in your action space, able to communicate, waiting as well. I always think this Queen of Swords looks like she's waiting for something, but she has her sword high and she is clear, focused and ready to take action. The Queen of Swords will take very swift action to cut things out that are not serving her, that are not necessary. If there's any forces in your life that are kind of negative, bringing you down, trying to belittle you or to shake you from your throne, you are going to just slice the communication lines of those energies completely. She can be very, very cold, the Queen of Swords, but in a kind of a good way. In the upright, in the reverse, she'd be negative, but in the upright, it's like no time for it. No time for it. If something is a negative energy, like say people coming at you, because this Five of Swords here is a card about it can be like verbal conflict, differences of opinion, and you can see like the moth is trying to fly, but these like the swords of these fairies, it's like gossips, people in your ear, people trying to belittle you, conflict of interest, like opinions kind of blocking your way, and again it's this blockage, right? This blockage. The Queen of Swords is like, I have no time for that. That is like these little fairies, ping pong, right? She's like swatting away those fairies. She's swatting away the opinions of these people who don't have anything constructive to say. Yeah, this is what's going on for you in your action space right now. And again, they're kind of reminding me again of right from the beginning of the reading, that Lana Del Rey song of kind of the imagery of that, of being like all these opinions of people, and the kind of hypocrisy. I'm getting hypocrisy of the opinions of people, and it's small-mindedness. It's people who are not enlightened. It's people who are, yeah, the pettiness. It's the smallness that's coming through of this. It's the pettiness. It's the worthlessness of this kind of negative behaviour. The Queen of Swords has better things to do. She's a queen. She has things to action. She has things to think about that are more important than these. And of course, people are entitled to their opinions. Of course, people should make time for opinions if they are constructive or if they are worthwhile. But these kind of like, it's like gossip, small petty energy. She's just cutting through it. And again, like the image of this moth trying to fly upwards, trying to fly straight into these opinions head on, right? It's worthless. It's worthless to do that. Don't bother with these petty energies, because that moth could just quite easily fly around those swords. It's like, if that's the blockage for you, if that's what's tying you up, this pettiness, like, Queen of Swords, fly away. Like, you're the leader, you're the king, you're the queen. You've got better things to do than to deal with this, and you've got the whole of this open sky to just turn and fly off into and leave those petty energies behind. Really not worth it. In the underlying, the King of Cups. Again, very same energy as the king and the woman holding the heart. This is somebody who rules from the heart space. Somebody who is very, very giving, very emotionally abundant, has a lot of time for people, has a lot of patience for people, really cares about the people who he rules over. Could be a boss, could be a father, could be some sort of figure of authority here. I'm seeing it as you ruling from the heart space. The kings are less communicative than the queens. The queens can be very, very cut and dry, like say what's on the mind. The kings can be a little bit more patient. They can be a little bit more reserved. They may not always say exactly what they're thinking or feeling, but you'll see it in their action space. The way that they rule, that's how you'll be able to see the king's depth. Right, okay, so best advice, please, for Leo or for those coming to the reading today. Thank you very much. In the underlying, we have Queen of Inspiration, Queen of Wands. That is very much your energy. I'm going to put her up there next to the king. Look at those beautiful orange colours. And again, it's that expansion energy, like the Empress up there. I'll just pull her down for a second. Underneath is a star again. That is the wish, the vision. So the vision, the expansion, creation. Yeah, I'm really seeing this as like abundant creativity, growth, passion for what you do. Very much leadership energy. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous energy. Just look at the orange colours, the warmth, the sun that's coming from your energy, Leo, quite frankly, as the strength card. Again, you can be masculine or feminine here. It's just saying that you're leading from the heart space. Your advice card, this Eight of Emotion card, let's have a look at what it says. So the Eight of Emotion is a card that I read as being walking away, feeling an emotional void, and needing to kind of go on a bit of a journey to leave that gate, go out of the garden into search of something that kind of really fulfills you. But we will find that card, Eight of Emotions. There we go. So this is your advice to take away from the reading. Keywords: walking away, healing old wounds and stories, choosing a better path for yourself, being disappointed, finding a better fit, letting go to make space for the new, the first day of a new life. Prompt: unveiling the sun. The eclipse has unfurled its thickest protection, and it has blocked the blinding light of illusion. That kaleidoscope again. It has lifted her strange sensation of being dulled and numbed and stopped her false happy. It has cast everything with a sheen of honest magic, and for the first time she has seen it all for what it really is. Like a switch flipped, she has dropped it all the baggage, all the lifetimes, all the tethers, all the broken dreams. Oh, how often she has stayed when she didn't want to. How often she has done so much for them and never for herself. She realises now as she walks away how just how far off course she has twisted and how much she has changed. With this lifting of the spell, she can see everything in its lucidity. She asks you to bravely let go with her today, to cut the cords that need cutting, Queen of Swords, and to courageously choose your own self, Empress, and your own love. In this joy, this shedding of escape and ease, not here, on horizons it looms. She walks away and heads towards her life of future bliss and of blooms. Yeah, it ties in really well with the reading. Garden the Gate card. It's like you're in that garden, but you're kind of seeing it with the vision card there for the first time, seeing things clearly, understanding that you perhaps have been giving too much in a situation. So it's interesting that I have that hand energy. You've been giving too much, you kind of lost yourself in trying to please others, I think. Seeing things clearly, cutting the cords that have bound you to something, and moving towards this Empress energy. You can see how it moves, right? It moves from being like tied up, blockages, apprentice energy, which is very, very young learning energy. It's kind of like learning like a life experience here, being patient, dealing with others, having strength to persevere, watching and waiting, knowing that there's something else out there, moving into this expansion, leadership, creative, taking control of your life energy and cutting things out that don't serve you anymore, leading from the heart space. They also gave me this kind of metaphor of needing to put on your own oxygen mask before you put on the oxygen mask of others. They tell you to do that if like if it's an emergency situation, you have to be able to breathe if you want to be able to help others. So it's like you have to put yourself first sometimes, Leo. You really, really do. And I hope that was helpful to you. Very, very comprehensive reading, actually. Really good messages coming through there, and I hope that helps you. I hope it at least lets you kind of reflect on your own life. Some of the things that resonate for you can help you to see things with that vision card a little bit more clearly about where you've been overgiving and not getting enough in return, and where you can honour yourself and expand and grow. Do take care. Love that reading for you. Leos, you are one of my favourite signs. Don't tell the others. Please do leave me a like and subscribe if you want to. You don't have to. Stealth watchers absolutely are welcome here. Share this reading with others if you know any Leos who you think this might resonate for. Really helps out my channel. Thank you for all your support. Do take care, and I will be with you again soon, my lovely, lovely Leos. Bye bye.